So we'll call the meeting to order at 7 p.m. on October 3rd, 2023. We have several consent agenda items. Minutes of the March 20th, 2023 school board meeting, some professional staffing recommendations, co-curricular staffing recommendations, administrative staffing recommendations, and acceptance of the Jewel class action lawsuit. So we request action on the minutes, professional staffing recommendations, co-curricular staffing recommendations, administrative staffing recommendations, and acceptance of Jewel class action lawsuit. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Second that.
Okay, is there discussion
Do you have to do roll call and things like that?
to start with?
Only when you go into close.
Oh, look at that. I learned something new.
Is there discussion?
Sorry.
Hearing none? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Those that oppose, nay. It carries. There are some personnel items. There is no action or no vote necessary. There's public comment. Angie, do you have anyone signing on yet?
We have not had anyone register previously to the meeting. If you'd like, I would ask the public to register now, if they were comfortable with that. All right? Okay. All right. If you'd like to make a public appearance by speaking to the board, please utilize the Q&A portion found at the bottom of your Zoom window. In the Q&A, we would ask that you type your name, address, subject of interest, and whether you have discussed this item prior to the meeting with the district administrator or President Howery. After submitting after submitting the information, I would transfer you over to speak to the board. Thank you. And we'll give them a few minutes to register if they wish.
Okay.
Is it warm in here? Is it just me? Oh, you said
I'm
you were cold.
freezing. It's April in Wisconsin. I can't get warm.
All right. I don't see anyone that is registered at this time.
Okay, so there is no public comment at this meeting. Okay, McFarland High School student report, Joey.
All right, hi everybody.
Hello, Joey.
Joey?
Hello.
One second here. Da-da-da. Okie dokie, fantastic. So, not a whole lot, but some stuff, just because spring break just happened and everyone's still on vacation in their minds. So, all right. So one thing that happened before spring break started was the MHS talent show. So MHS held a talent show. Astounding congratulations to all those who showcase their talents. It takes a lot of courage. There were some super wonderful acts, very, very talented. And also thanks to the individuals who planned and emceed the talent show, specifically Pack. So amazing job to them. Tomorrow, the Connect Club, our club, 6 members will be volunteering at the polls at McFarland Village Hall, as April 4th is election day. So congratulations to all the students that have registered to vote and will be going to the polls tomorrow to exercise their rights. Woo! Woo! Next week, our McFarland Model United Nations Club is going to head over to Northwestern University for a 4-day conference. There's about 8 students going to that. So good luck to all the delegates attending the very prestigious conference. Tomorrow also is DECA Culver's Night. So from 4 to 9 p.m., DECA will be having their Culver's Night where 10% of all dine-in sales go to DECA, and there will be student members helping out. I do believe that this fundraising is going towards financing everyone's trip to ICDC, the International DECA competition, with attendees from like all over the world. It's going to be super awesome. There's so many kids going, and so amazing job to the advisors and all the students involved in DECA. Also, coming up, the McFarland Visual Arts Classics team is going to be attending state on April 14th, so good luck to them. More on this week, there have been plenty of spring sports, including check, that have been going on, but girls soccer and boys golf have been starting this week, so amazing start to the season. Woot woot. We also just wanted to take one slide to thank our administrator at the high school, Ms. Buzalaki, for all the work that she has put in to just McFarland High School in general. We're very sad that she's going to be leaving. I just wanted to give like a big shout out to her and good luck in her future endeavors. So, and that's it. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Joy.
Thank you.
Comments at all?
You guys do such an amazing job, and I really like the fact you get the little box in there with the names of the advisors and stuff like that. So you guys work so hard, and I just it's amazing what you guys present.
Thanks so much.
Joy, is this the first time that we have students volunteering at the polls? I don't think we saw that in the past.
As
think we
far
have.
as I'm aware, yes, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Just a reminder, the DECA night at Culver's,
Yes.
it's dine-in only. I think a lot of people
Dine-in
drive through
only.
thinking that that's part of it,
Oh.
but it's dine-in only for the listeners out there.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Find that.
And then, with all the traveling that the different clubs and students do, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a future youth apprenticeship in the area of travel,
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
because they really
Yeah.
would be on site to help
Yeah.
their mentor with that.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
maybe
our
something
club
just to
has-
consider.
Yeah, we've been looking into that, sort of, looking for opportunities.
Cool.
Okay, well, thank you, Joy.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for keeping us updated. Okay, informational items. We have one item. It's update on full-time student policy 5200.01 with Beth and Jackie. And they're on the screen here.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello there.
Thanks for having us first. That's so considerate. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, glad to have you, so I'm just going to set the stage for you a little bit,
Okay.
and for the board and the public. So just, this is a revisit of a decision that, a change to policy the board made last year, I think it was in June, I believe, to change what is considered a full-time student from 7 credits to 6 credits. And in that conversation, one of the things we talked about was, let's see how that goes, and just kind of check back in. So I'm very fortunate to have our amazing school counselors from the high school to share a little bit about what they've seen so far with that, and some of the benefits and maybe some challenges from that change.
Sounds good. You want to go ahead first, Jackie?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something that we've really appreciated to have the new policy. I think kids feel just really good about having kind of a little bit more freedom to pick what's best for them, you know, as a senior. I know like a lot of kids will be in 3 or 4 AP classes, and they're, you know, we're trying to talk to them like, oh, sorry, you need 7 credits if you don't work or you're not in an apprenticeship. And that can be a really tough sell, you know, and we're trying to like say, well, you need this, even though, you know, they're like, well, I have such a full load already and I'm in all these activities. So I've really appreciated it. And I think the kids have really appreciated that. So I think it's really been a benefit
Mm-hmm.
for our students.
Yeah, it's also really helped us for some of our students who may not necessarily be in special education or may not qualify for a 504, but do have certain mental health and medical issues where they might need a modified schedule. And by that, I mean, maybe they need to start second block instead of first because they might have some sort of ailment that might flare up in the morning or things like that, but yet they don't quite meet the criteria to have individualized instruction. So we've been able to work with those students and families, and I think that's been a relief, and that's a tool we didn't have before.
And I know you had collected some data. I don't know if you have that handy. I can look it up too, just about how many kids we're talking about that are falling in that 6 credits category.
Yeah, so according to our policy, if you're in like a work release program, youth apprenticeship, or if you're heading to UW or Madison College for classes, you're full-time, whether you have 6 credits or not. So if we remove that group, we have probably around 15 to 16 students that we were able to view as full-time, yet still have the modified schedule at 6 credits. I think the exact number might be 16. And these are seniors, so this is a senior thing, if that's not clear.
Have you received any comments from the students' parents on this change? Okay.
The only comments we've received have been positive, and that I think some of the roadblocks we were facing, parents were facing as well. You would have students come home, they'd be like, well, why are you in that class? You don't need it to graduate. And then parents would be like, I can't convince them to come for this. What can you tell me? And it's like, well, technically they do not need it to graduate either. And we just would kind of go round and round. So the families that have taken advantage of it, it's been positive.
Yeah, and I would say too, it's like, we're always about trying to get kids to maximize their time at the high school, to take as many classes and learn as many things. Like, that's always our intent, right? But like in some of these situations, it's just, it doesn't always make sense for them. So I think that's where, they really have appreciated it. But yeah, it's always our intention, obviously, to keep kids, at school and getting as much out of it as possible. But there have been times where it's like, with all these other things they have going on in their life, where it's just like, it doesn't make sense. And it's really put us in a kind of a tough spot to be like, well, you have to have the 7 credits, sorry, so I think we haven't had any negative feedback.
And that doesn't surprise me. Well, I appreciate you bringing this forward to us a year ago, not quite a year ago, because you really have been able to sort of customize education programs for some of the kids. And you mentioned the mental health or the physical health. Once again, it's an example of what you do here at the high school to really look out what's best for kids.
Yeah.
I applaud your efforts with that.
Yeah, thank you.
I wanted to just say, I was a little concerned, thinking like, okay, what if it turns out we're missing 100 students? 16 out of, what is the graduating class this year? They're about
188, I think.
Yeah,
188.
so that, you guys obviously are working very diligently to keep the kids in class, and it's working. And I would say, those are your kids, the outliers, they will benefit from this. So, thank you so much.
One of the things that you shared in this, and I think you can do that better than I could on your behalf, is just that the students that are taking advantage of this, it's not like they're just sitting home doing nothing. It's because they have something else, that's valuable for their education and career that they're engaged in, as well as their physical and emotional health. So I appreciated that.
I'd also just like to thank you guys, because this has not been an easy year. And I thought you guys have done a terrific job.
Yeah, we really do appreciate that, because it
Thank
has
you.
been. But we're very excited for next year, so thank you so much. There was times where I don't know if we're gonna be able to keep on going, but next year I'm just feeling so much better about that. Yeah, I'm really excited. So thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to have more staffing and better serve our community and our students.
It sounds like things are going really well. Have you found anything that you would do differently or that would work better?
That's a good question. I don't know. What do you think, Jackie? What are you thinking? With this policy in particular, or?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
With this policy in particular.
I think knowing that we have this policy in place, like I can probably identify some like 9th and 10th graders that I know have these circumstances. So I think making sure we really plan well with them credit wise and academic wise, knowing like, hey, when you turn 18, you might have more of X, Y, and Z expectations from your family. Like, let's make sure we really knock out what you need 9th, 10th, and 11th. You want to do youth apprenticeship, let's get it in. And if, so I think moving forward, I think if we can be proactive and think about, okay, well, I know this student has to be home because their little brother gets off the bus at 2, like those kinds of things. Like, if I can identify those sooner, I think it'll be a relief knowing that could be a possibility for you senior year now. Does that make sense? I kind of talk in circles, but okay.
Yeah.
And I would just say this is kind of one example, I think, of us just, we have to kind of think outside the box a little bit more, as our kids are just so much different. I mean, when I started 15 years ago, it was so much different, and this now all the different needs and everything. I think I'd like it to even maybe take it a step further in the future of what can we do to offer more to students, meet their needs even further. So anyways, I just think this is like one small step, but I feel like we as a district could really do that even more.
Yeah, like Jackie and I were talking today, like what can we do better for our seniors to like transition them to the real world? Like maybe our office needs to offer a group or like workshops or some sort of class or things like that. Because we're having all those conversations on individual levels already. And they don't know what they don't know. So that's just kind of where we're thinking, forward thinking.
Well, with such success from this policy, I mean, that's, you thought outside the box and it's working well. So that's great for future ideas too.
Yeah, thanks for letting us give it a go.
I know a year ago when you presented this to the board, you talked about some other area school districts already have a similar policy. Do you know if those other area school districts limit it to just seniors, or do they go down to the junior level also?
I've only seen it with the seniors, and I think it makes sense because developmentally, right, like that's that transition year to kind of give them a little bit more of a, a feel for if you do have an extra block off in that free time. What we notice, kids that have structured time 8 to 3 and then go on to college, that's like the biggest challenge, right? So sometimes it is nice to have a little bit of freedom, right? While they're still at home, while they still have resources at school to kind of, to help them into the real world of college where we all know what can happen, right? It's between classes, you can easily get pulled away and, doing other things. I always was studying in the computer lab. I don't know to get work done, but I think that is so important for us to kind of, it's a big year where we kind of do have to give them a little bit of freedom, and it is a little scary, right? But it's better when they have us and their parents to be there. Safer.
Anything else? Hey, thanks for giving us the update.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time, everybody. See you later.
Yep. Bye. Aaron, District Administrator's Report.
Yes, thank you. Wow. Whew, we're moving right along here. So have a few, I always forget to do this when I do that. There. Have a few things to share with you today as part of my report. Recognitions, I always wait and I see what Joey's gonna say and then I cross out a few things. One thing is there's a lot of special things about April. It is Autism Awareness Month. It is Financial Literacy Month, Volunteer Month, Poetry Month, and School Library Month. So I'm going to read to you the proclamation issued by our governor, Dr. Tony Evers. Whereas school library programs provide access to a wide variety of essential educational materials and play a vital role in literacy and learning, helping students become more engaged and well-rounded. And whereas school libraries are a place where all students can see themselves reflected or step into another world to gain a different perspective. And whereas reading is at the core of personal and academic competency, and as literacy leaders, school librarians elevate the importance of reading, as well as reading proficiency to support the academic success of all learners. And whereas the full potential of school libraries is dependent upon knowledgeable and skilled professional school librarians and staff, and in some cases, certified library professionals can even be linked to higher levels of student achievement. And whereas this month, the state of Wisconsin joins all Wisconsinites in celebrating school libraries and the role of school librarians in providing a high-quality education to students across the state. Now, therefore, I, Tony Evers, Governor of the state of Wisconsin, do hereby proclaim April 2023 as School Library Month throughout the state of Wisconsin, and I commend this observance to all our state residents. So just nice recognition, I think for the public that may not be as connected with the work that happens with our library media specialists, their role is so varied. The image that I think I had of school libraries when I was going through is the books on the shelves. It's a lot more than the books on the shelves, let me tell you, especially with e-books and working directly with teachers with literacy, technology. It's just amazing, the role that they play. And we are really fortunate to have a talented group of really dedicated and forward-thinking library media specialists that are always moving our program forward, as well as the assistants who do so much. A lot of students will say that the library is a real home for them and a place where they feel safe and welcomed all the time. So
I know as a staff member, I certainly did. They were wonderful. It was amazing, the services they provided. So we're very lucky.
And I think it's remarkable the amount of support
Yeah.
that each school provides to their
Yes.
libraries.
yes,
And the statement that you read, Aaron, that probably should be read monthly,
yeah, right.
you know?
That's true.
It is so meaningful, that, just the content, because what's happening out there in the world, people are ready to crumble that way
Yes,
too easily.
Yeah.
But I feel fortunate that we're in a district that we are in full support of it.
Yeah.
yeah, it's well said. It's well said. I mean, there's people that are leaving the profession, because of some of the attacks and things, and we're grateful for the support that we have. I also wanted, in terms of other recognitions, before I jump into some of the upcoming things as well as our slideshow, is wanted to recognize everybody that's involved in the hiring process. So in schools, this is the hiring season. So people that are retiring, we've also had, some resignations. We are in the heat of hiring, and that is in addition to people's jobs. It's not like we have an HR department that handles all hiring. We really value staff, family, student input into hiring. And so we are well underway. Of course, we have the high school associate principal openings, and those interviews are coming up. We also have the student services positions, 5 of those that we're in the process of hiring for, as well as many, many other positions that we're hiring for next year and a couple for this year. So really, grateful for the staff and the students and families that are engaged in that. Sometimes long, sometimes boring process. I love it.
But on the other hand, I think staff like to be empowered
They do.
when it comes to hiring staff within their buildings, since they're the ones that work directly with those new staff members.
Mhm.
And once again, it's a indication of our district
Mhm.
where we actually encourage and support that.
Yeah, well said, because just in case you don't know, we're a district that really welcomes staff. We don't really limit too much staff involvement. If somebody wants to be involved in the process, we find a way for them to be involved, and we'll have that commented from candidates before. Sometimes it's a little intimidating, But, you know, they come in and they're, oh, there's a lot of you. You must really care about this. So that's pretty special. The goal is, of course, is our administrative team does a great job running a process. And the idea is, if you run a great process, the administrator doesn't really have to make a decision. It's just obvious to everybody, and the committee agrees, and that's what happens. So, very lucky.
Great.
All right, I'm going to share some photos from around the district, which will lead to some other appreciations here. So, yes, so one of the things that we had happen was the high school Blue Notes, 7th and 8th grade choirs performed at the other 3 buildings. That used to happen right before winter break, and now they moved it right before spring break, which I personally can say I'm really grateful for. For example, this year we did not have school that day, and that is a common occurrence, to have this get canceled or delayed when it's in the winter months. So we're grateful for that. They did an amazing job, and the students just really loved it. We're just so fortunate to have such a talented program, and thank you to Ms. Weber and Mr. Gregg for their leadership. Second grade had a consumer sale, and this is a great example of things that I'm learning about. Look at those, you know, a lot of cash over here getting exchanged, but, you know, creating items and selling these items, just a great experience with financial literacy, month being in April.
And there are some really interesting projects that come out of that.
Yeah, isn't it amazing?
Wild, my kids would bring home.
So creative.
So, and there were dollar bills on the table.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Was that the minimum or maximum? Or?
I don't know.
I mean, it used to be 10 cents, 25 cents was the maximum.
Yeah,
It was
I
my
don't know.
resort.
Yeah, inflation.
Inflation, I guess.
Yeah, things
Yeah,
are
I
expensive
know.
now.
I saw that too. That's a lot of money there.
No wonder she's smiling.
Yeah, right. I'd be smiling too. We had a World Down Syndrome Day on March 21st, and CEPS in particular did a really exceptional job recognizing that day school-wide with some education, and just a really neat thing. And that also was shared on social media, which I think is really good for our community. Here's a couple of 4th grade classes. This is really exciting. They had the end of the human body science unit, and they learned some sign language, and were introducing themselves to their classmates. What a great skill. I mean, boy, I'll tell you, if I was superintendent, I would just have American Sign Language across the board for our students, but I guess I am. But that is just something to think about, right? I mean, what a great skill for kids to have, and just finding ways to incorporate it naturally into the curriculum. I just love that.
Yep.
So very thoughtful, outstanding 4th grade teachers. Always the fun, the pie, the principals with the pie. And I just love that picture on the left. I mean, you know, Corey and Kelly just really having a great time after getting the pie in their face. Middle school just had that. I think you remember last month, we had Mr. Rowley with it. And they were doing a little competition about cleaning up the playground. That's their area of focus for their power. So that's all it takes. And I'm sure the students, you can see how excited they are over there. All right. The Middle School Alliance of Allies, so that's a group that really focuses on inclusion for students with disabilities and their allies. And so they had people sign a pledge, you know, and about being inclusive. And it was just walking around the middle school today, and they have things throughout the school about how to be more inclusive. So a really important part of our equity work and reminding kids. And I will say that, you know, sometimes you hear people talk about kids these days, and get pretty negative on kids these days. Compared to when I was a student, kids are so much more accepting and welcoming and including students with disabilities than ever in my life. So that's something we should be proud of as a society. My soapbox. Little visual arts classic competition. I think you've seen, if you've been on social media, there's been a lot of youth art months thing, and it's a competition here. You see some some things won, some nice celebration, and of course, some Youth Art Month. Getting work done. I love this with the blindfolded
That's amazing.
stuff. So really creative. What a great art program that we have. And this was interesting. I didn't know much. I don't know much about this, but in the poli-sci classes here, along with Student Council Club Connect, they were able to bring in our village president, Carolyn Clow, and village trustee, TJ Yerke, to do this. Great. Talk about their experience and how to improve the village and share ideas. Just really engaged in the political process, so.
Can I say something about that?
Yeah, please
So
do.
I was having a meeting at, it was with you. Kate and I were at the cafe when TJ was preparing for this meeting, and he showed us the list that the students provided, and it was so impressive.
Yeah.
They had some really great ways and suggestions of how to engage students and youth in the village government. I was very impressed.
And he was really excited about
Yes.
it too.
Aw.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is a very good point. He was very excited about it, so that's very cool.
Yeah, it's another example of the kids these days,
Yes.
right?
yes.
I agree.
How
Exactly.
amazing they are.
Yep.
So fortunate. And I don't know if you heard about the lunch with the Multicultural Club. They had a lunch, kind of a potluck kind of thing. And I was very fortunate to be able to stop by there and indulge. And just a really nice atmosphere. And they had music playing and just a really cool event where people brought in, recipes that, my guess is he'd never shared with their friends before, that their family, makes. And so it was really, really good. And
hungry.
last but not least, it is National Assistant Principals Week. So, really fortunate to have such a talented team. And I'm grateful that we have an expanded team. Back in the old days, we didn't have all those assistant principals, and whew, we need them. So grateful for the work that Brooke, Kelly, Brett, Sarah, and also Matt, do for us and have done for us. Just really special people, work incredibly hard, kind of 24/7 sometimes. Just a great, talented group of leaders. So thanks
Awesome.
to them.
Mhm.
They look really great in pictures too.
Yeah.
They do.
And they're all
Very
smiling.
photogenic.
Like, I look a little haggard. I'm like, wow, these are happy people. So I wanted to share that, and then in terms of upcoming, events, of course, we have the 5th, so coming up this week, that would be Wednesday, is Paraprofessional Appreciation Day. So we have amazing support staff, so we want to take a moment to really recognize them. I think that's something that separates our district from other districts, is really the number and the quality of support staff that we have. We have the Professional Staff Employees Relations Committee coming up on Thursday. Friday is a school day. Previously was not. That is our makeup day for the ridiculous weather we had this year. But we do not have school on Monday. And then next week, on the 12th, we have the new staff mentor dialogue dinner, and you are welcome to come as board members. We will notice that, so we can have a quorum there, that's fine. Always nice to kind of come and say it. Thank you to our mentors and new staff.
That's on Tuesday.
Yeah, and 4 to 6, I think. But you don't have to stay the whole time if you can only at the break one.
Is that Tuesday or Wednesday?
Well, I don't know what day of the week that is. It's the 12th, whatever that is.
Yeah, that's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday, let's go with Wednesday.
Why not?
4 o'clock, 4 to 6. And then we also will have a joint support staff employees relations and professional staff employees relations. Try not to just say the acronym so that people know what we're talking about. Kind of the meet and confer groups. They're going to be meeting together. This is a presentation that we have had to reschedule due to ridiculous weather. So this is where we're going to be receiving the results from a study that we had done about what would be the impact of having a paid time off system versus our current system, which has it divided by categories. So looking at that, what are some of the implications for that? So excited to hear kind of those results. And then our next board meeting is on the 17th.
Okay,
Yeah, that
Thank you,
concludes my
Aaron.
report.
okay. Action on WEVA. Aaron, do you want me to read the description that you provided, or is everyone versed on from reading their?
I think I can, do you mind if I just provide a quick summary?
You sure can.
I'll try to be quick.
Yes.
So this is really some technical corrections to the agreements that we had previously had. So just, kind of some compliance things, wanting to make sure it's right by the letter of the law with DPI and statutory guidance. So our district council has been involved in that. And a reminder, I should say, and WEVA council, so we actually share the same council with running Lewis and Lacey. And so it's just kind of something that we do need to bring, we checked, and yes, it is something that we do need to bring forward to you for approval, but the changes are minor and really technical in nature, primarily addressing the wait list issue. There were some things that were in there that aren't really proper per statutory guidance, so we changed those.
That's good.
Aaron, do you know if there are, I didn't realize we had wait lists for them, but have there been kids on the wait list?
No,
This
it's
is
more
just
about
in
if
case.
we had, yeah,
Okay.
yes,
That's what I
thank
thought.
you for the clarification.
Any questions about that? Okay, action on WEVA K-8, WEVA High School, Insight, Wisconsin, and DCA contract addendum agreements. Is there a motion?
I can move. for
Second?
that.
I'll second.
Discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Those opposed, nay? Okay, motion carries. Okay, action on the 23-24 66.0301 Wisconsin School Nutrition Purchasing Cooperative Agreement. Aaron, do you want to add anything else?
Sure, yes, so this is an annual thing that we do. We work together with a few other districts to kind of, together, do some cooperative negotiations that, reduce the cost of our food and share some kind of the resources. So there are some, some expenses associated with that, but certainly the benefits outweigh those. And you can see in there, there's many member districts that share these fees. So something we bring forward to you annually to approve. Very
Okay.
wise, resourceful thing.
Is there a motion?
I'll make that.
Second?
I'll second.
Discussion? Hearing none? All those in favor, say aye.
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 Those that oppose, say nay. Okay, motion carries. Action on the Dane County New Teacher Project, Shared Services Agreement for the 23-24 school year. Aaron, did you want to add anything else here?
Just kind of, again, another annual thing. We've been a member of this wonderful group for a long time, and those that have been around really, do know, as we just talked about our new teacher and mentor event, provide a lot of professional development to our staff and leadership. So we're really grateful for that partnership that has been in place for many, many years.
I think if you take a look at it really is a nominal cost, as
Yeah.
far as I'm concerned. That is money well spent. The buyback, or the payback
Oh, yeah.
is multifold for the district and for the kids here, so. Okay, is there a motion?
I'll make that.
Second?
I can second it.
Discussion? Hearing none, if you approve the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Those that oppose, nay. And the motion carries. Okay, action on the recommended WEVA DCA Insight School of Wisconsin. Statute one, better put my glasses on, sorry. 118.40, parentheses 8, parentheses G, student transfers to resident districts. Aaron, anything else about this?
No, nothing to add.
Okay. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, is there a second?
I can second that.
Okay, discussion. I will bring up my monthly discussion. There's 7 kids who are enrolled in kindergarten through 5th grade that are going to be left out there somewhere. And as educators, as concerned citizens, I think we still have to at least recognize that. I'm not sure what we can do about it. I know Weaver is doing some different things this year. And I think, when they make their end of the year report, we'll see some really nice changes. But some will continue to slip through the cracks. It's not the fault of Weaver. Rather, it's the parents, their lack of engagement with the virtual schools. So, okay. Everyone that supports the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Those that oppose, say nay. And the motion carries. Okay, we're set to adjourn this school board meeting at 7:40 PM.
Oh, my gosh.
What? I will make that motion.
Second,
I'll second that.
discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those that oppose, say nay. Motion carries. Thanks, everybody.
Wow.
You.